So my dear friend, welcome to the program ज्ञान से कल्याण। स्वागत है आप सबों का। Today we are proceeding registration, tax invoice, debit and credit note, account and records, electronic way bill, return payment of tax, refund and audit. These all included in procedural compliance under GST. So our first question is, what is tax invoice? So answer is, invoice in simple term is nothing but a document specifying list of goods sent or services provided and a statement of sum due against those items. Invoice is a document recording the terms of an arrangement already entered into either orally or on a paper. An invoice does not bring into existence a sale agreement but merely records the terms of whatever arrangement that may have been entered into by the parties involving the subject matter. So GST requires that a tax invoice or bill of supply to be issued before or on or occurrence of certain event or within a prescribed time. Therefore, an invoice is required for every other form of supply such as transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease or disposable. GST allows seamless flow of input tax credit across the supply chain. One of the fundamental pillars of GST is checking the input tax credit claims for which data of all invoices to be uploaded and matched. GST system is backed by a strong IT support from Goods and Service Tax Network for matching the such data. GSTN 6 all registered dealers shall file invoice-wise details in order to do such matching. Every registered taxable person under GST supplying goods or services is required to issue a tax invoice for all supplies affected. The word every registered taxable person clearly specifies that issuing tax invoice is compulsory under GST law. However, government may notify some other document for certain category of services. For example, bus ticket, bank voucher, etc. So now we are continuing. So what is tax invoice? Here again, we have taken some of the important items. A tax invoice is generally issued to charge the tax and pass on the input tax credit. A GST invoice must have the following mandatory fields: invoice number and date, customer name, shipping and billing address, customer and taxpayers, GSTIN if registered, place of supply, HSN code, SAC code. The item number 7, item details, that is description, quantity, number, unit, like in meter, kg, etc. Total value, taxable value and discount, rates and amount of taxes, that is CGST, SGST, IGST, whether GST is payable on reverse charge basis, signature of the supply, very important and interesting. So now we are proceeding to the next very important question. Question number 7. What is the time limit for issue of tax invoice for supply of goods? Answer is here. Time limit for issue of tax invoice for supply of goods can be divided in two parts. In case of normal cases, in case of continuous supply of services. The first part is supply of goods in normal cases, a registered taxable person who supplies taxable goods has to issue a tax invoice showing the description, quantity and value of goods, the tax charged thereon, and such other particulars as may be prescribed. Where supply involve movement of goods on or before the removal of goods, very important, for supply to the buyer from the location of the supplier. For example, if dealer X in Delhi is dealing in TV set, he has to make delivery of 5 TV to dealer Y in Mumbai. Here, supply involves movement of goods. In such case, the invoice will be issued on or before the date of dispatch of consignment. Next, B part is where supply does not involve movement of goods on or before the date of delivery of goods to the recipient. So here we are taking an example to clarify this issue. Here, Mrs. XYZ Limited purchases an accelerator for its office building. The supplier agrees to assemble and install it at office premises. Here, since the supply does not require movement of the generator set, the invoice must be issued at the time when the accelerator is made available to XYZ Limited. Next part, in case of continuous supply of goods, very interesting, where successive statements of accounts or successive payments are involved, the invoice shall be issued before or at the time each such a statement is assured, or as the case may be, or when such payment is received. Next very important question is here, my dear friend. Come. What is the time limit to issue GST, invoices, revised bills, debit notes, and credit note? Answer is here. The GST Act has defined time limit to issue GST tax invoices, revised bill, debit notes, and credit note. Following are the due dates for issuing an invoice to customer. First, for supply of goods on or before date of removal or delivery. Second, for continuous supply of goods on or before date of issue of account statement or payments. Third, for services within 30 days of supply of service. For supply of service by banks and NBFCs within 45 days of supply of services. Hello, my friend. Interesting. Yes, sir. So now come to the question number 9. LI Enterprises Calcutta makes a supply of goods to TI Enterprises Ghaziabad. The goods were removed from the factory at Calcutta on May 3rd. When should the tax invoice be issued? So answer is here. Very important question. Since the goods were removed from the factory on May 3rd, hence the tax invoice must be issued on or before May 3rd. Question number 10. Again, it is very important question. M Limited, an event management company, has provided its services for an event at P Film agencies at Calcutta on June 1st. When should the tax invoice be issued? Hello, my dear. Here is the answer. The tax invoice must therefore be issued within 30 days, that is within 30th June. So next very important Question is question number 11. If Mr. N, a dealer, is liable to be registered on January 18, 2020 and he has applied for registration on February 1st, 2020, what is the effective date of registration? Very important. So answer is here, my dear friend. The effective date of registration would be January 18, 2020. Kyun? Because the application has been made within the 30 days. He is liable to register. Question number 12. Hello, my dear friend. It is a very important question. What is e-way bill? Answer is here. E-way bill is an electronic way bill for movement of goods to be generated on the e-way bill portal. A GST registered person cannot transport goods in a vehicle whose value exceed rupees 50,000. Single invoice bill delivery challan without an e-way bill that is generated on e-way bill gst.gov.in. Alternatively, e-way bill can also be generated or cancelled through SMS, Android app, and by site-to-site integration through API. When an e-way bill is generated, a unique e-way bill number (EBN) is allocated and is available to the supplier, recipient, and the transporter. Now we are coming to the next question. Question number 13. What is GST return? What are the different types of GST return? Very important. A GST return is a document that mentions all details related to GST invoices, payments, and receipts for a specified period. A taxpayer is liable to declare all transactions related to the revenue of the business based on which the authority will calculate the amount of tax to be paid by the business. Here, the GSTR1, very important GSTR1, this is the form of the beginning. Details of outward supply of goods or services to be filled monthly or quarterly basis. Every registered person other than an input service distributor, a non-resident tax person, and a person paying tax under the provision of section 10, 51, 52 of the CGST Act 2017. Interesting. So now we are coming to GSTR 3B, summary of inward and outward supply. Every registered person other than an input distributor, a non-taxable person, and a person paying tax under the provision of section 10, 51, 52 of the CGST Act. Monthly return on or before 20th of the subsequent month must be filed. So now come to the next form, that is GSTR4, quarterly return for compounding dealer. Every registered composition supplier, section 10 of the CGST Act, quarterly return within 18 days after the end of each quarter. Now come to the next form, GSTR 5. All business details for non-resident NR, including the details of sales and purchases. Every registered non-resident taxable person inward and outward supplies on or before 20th of the subsequent month must file it. Now come to the next form, GSTR 5A, Online Information and Database Access or Retrieval, that is called OLDAR, OLDAR services, non-resident OLDAR services provider, monthly return on or before 20th of subsequent month must be filed. है ना interesting? Yes, sir. Yes, now come to the GSTR 6. Return for an ISD. Every input service distributor. Details of tax invoices on or before 13th of the subsequent month must be filed. Next, GSTR 7, return for authorities deducting tax at source. Every registered person deducting tax at source, section 51 of the CGST Act, details of TDS on or before 10th of the subsequent month. Now come to the next form, GSTR 8. Details of supplies effected through e-commerce operator and the amount of tax collected. Every e-commerce operator required to collect tax. Section 52 of the CGST Act. Details of TCS on or before 10th of the subsequent month. Let us come to the next form. GSTR 9, annual return for a normal taxpayer. Every registered person other than an ISD, a non-resident taxable person, and a person paying tax under the provision of section 10, 51, 52 of the CGST Act, annual return 31st December of the next financial year. CGSTR 9A, annual return, a taxpayer registered under the composition levy any time during the year. Every registered composition supplier, annual return 31st December of the next financial year. GSTR 9C, reconciliation statement. Every registered person other than an ISD, a non-resident taxable person, and a person paying tax under the provisions of section 10, 51, 52 of the CGST Act. Reconciliation statement is certification 31st December of the next financial year must be filed. है ना interesting? Yes, sir. Now come to the last form, GSTR 10, final return. Taxable person whose registration has been cancelled or surrendered. Final return within 3 months of the date of cancellation or the date of order of cancellation, whichever is later, must be filed. Hello, my dear friend. And interesting? Yes, sir. So please don't forget to like it, subscribe it. Thank you very much. Enjoy GST.